Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast, where we do interviews with inspiring people like Cathy here that helps you find the resources, tools, and support that you need to be your best inspired self. Hi, Cathy. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. So what's up with all of the medals in the background?
This is just my reminder. My medal rack that sits in my home office here is my reminder of my strength, of my inner warrior, in that I am capable of doing hard things, because we all have those days where we feel beat up, exhausted, we think we can't do something. And all of these medals have been in probably the last 5 years.
Oh,
So long after high school, long after college, in high school, I couldn't even run a mile in gym class. I was out of shape, unhealthy, overweight. And so this was and is my reminder to myself that I am capable of doing very challenging things.
that is awesome. So I skipped ahead. So hi, Cathy. That's really cool. Would you like to tell the listeners who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So again, my name is Cathy McKinnon. I'm the founder of Wellness Warrior Coaching, and I am a transformation coach. I help busy women take back their lives and do it without burnout and really step into that joy and that confidence that we're all so deserving of. But sometimes it just kind of washes to the side and we put ourselves on the back burner. And so I really work with women to bring that back out, and so they can step into being the most inspired version of themselves.
Wow, that's awesome. So how did you become like a transformation coach? Because I'm pretty sure that wasn't on my assessment that I took in high school. It's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a transformation coach. It was probably somewhere under music teacher, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, creative arts or something, I'm sure. It was definitely not on my radar. And I actually went to school for finance and went into corporate America. So it was not even on my radar. But I had several major life events happen in a very short time frame that really caused me to step back and transform my own life. And when I started overhauling my life, despite everything that was going on, I was still showing up with a smile on my face. And I had some friends and fellow moms say, how are you doing it? How are you still showing up with so much joy and gratitude? Like everything you're doing, everything you're handling, like, how do you do it and still be so happy? And to me, like, that's what life is about. When you can be the healthiest, happiest version of yourself, you can truly serve those around you with the gifts that you were given.
So kind of going through all of those challenges led you on a new career path. Is it kind of?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I never would have thought I would do this. But when I did it for myself and others around me started seeing the results, they were, curious, of course, like, what are you doing? Like, what's the magic secret here? And it's hard work. It's a lot of internal work. It's changing your habits. It's changing your mindset. It's overhauling the way you live. But at the end of the day, it's so worth it because you only get this one life.
Yeah. So what was one of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome with a smile on your face before you kind of move through?
Yeah, it was definitely a combination, I think. So I was in the middle of my infertility journey, which was a span of 5 years. And in the middle of that infertility journey, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. I had no symptoms. I had no family history. I was not the demographic category for this type of cancer. And it was a complete kick to the gut. Like, I wasn't even 30 years old, and here you're telling me I have cancer. It completely blew my mind. And at that point was, okay, now I need to overhaul to be as healthy as I can be, because I don't want recurrence to happen. I don't want to bring anything toxic into my life. I don't want to completely live this life of in and out of hospitals and surgeries and radiation and all these toxic treatments. What do I have to do to be as healthy as I can be? So that was my first step in transforming my life. I totally went on a health kick, eating healthy, working out, everything I could do to limit the toxins in my house and my environment. And to me, that completely changes your mindset on how you live. When you're faced with something such as cancer and you don't know what the outcome is going to be, doctors can try their hardest, but you're left with this outcome of, we don't know. We don't know if we're going to get it 100%. We don't know if it's going to come back in 5 years. We don't know. It causes you to really live in the present and not take anything for granted.
Yeah. Wow, that's kind of a powerful story, going through something so young. I recently read, I did a lot of caregiving work, caregiving coaching, consulting work over the last 5 years or so. And there was a journey that I read of a young couple. They were in their early 20s and they just got married, and the husband got throat cancer. And what's weird part about it is it's not the cancer that ends up being the biggest part of their journey. It was the after cancer. It was like dealing with all of what was going on, and just all of the stuff after, because there's life after cancer. Even if you get it all, even if everything's okay, there's still a lot of stuff that people go through.
Yeah, there was actually an article that came out. It was 17 things people never tell you about cancer. And it was all essentially the things of after cancer. You know, it's not like a magic switch where, okay, it's gone now, we got it, you can continue your life normal. Like, there is no going back to how your body and your mind was before cancer. It doesn't happen. Your mindset is completely changed and your body is not the same as it was before.
Yeah. So that was one of the, I could see if I asked like, what was the hardest thing you went through? This certainly sounds like it would be on the list for sure.
Definitely.
So did you get coaching from someone, or did you sort of kind of find your own solutions for everything and go, wow, I think I need to take these solutions? Or is it some kind of combination of that, or something kind of in the middle?
It was a combination of that. I did a lot of research on my own. I did a lot of reading, working with local doctors on, what are some great holistic ways that I can keep my lifestyle clean. So I did a lot of that on my own. But I did also have some, very inspirational leaders in my life who, kept encouraging me to stay strong, and you can do this, and you were made for more, so let's keep going. So I always had them in the back of my mind, but a lot of it was, you have to take the time and do the hard work yourself.
Yeah. And a lot of people who have cancer younger have always said, well, my kids helped me get through it, right? The fact that I had to live for my kids. But your journey happened in the middle of an infertility journey. So a lot of those kind of typical things that people say, oh, I had to live for my kids. The only person you needed to live for was yourself. And talk about, gosh, how many times do we beat ourselves up? We're our worst critic, right? We treat ourselves the worst out of everyone. So I think that is fair to ask for you the question, like, how did you get this positive mindset to kind of take it? How did you keep the smile on your face? Because it could have easily felt like there wasn't anything to live for.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I think before I got that diagnosis, all the things I was beating myself up for, I needed to lose weight, the clothes didn't fit the right way, the dress didn't look great, my hair wasn't working, all things that seem so petty now when you're faced with something like that. So yeah, probably days before that diagnosis, I was probably mad at myself because the scale didn't say the right number or whatever it might be. But I remember getting that diagnosis and in the midst of trying to have my son. And I remember like plain as day what I said to the doctor that delivered the diagnosis and the treatment plan and what he proposed doing to treat it. And I remember just looking at him dead in the face and saying, you've got one chance, because I'm not done yet. I'm not done living. I'm not done fighting to have the baby that I want to fight for. And I'm not done showing up to live.
That's awesome. And then,
but it doesn't mean that there weren't tears and all sorts of emotional overflow all around that.
Yeah. Did you kind of show up differently, right? Like after you got the diagnosis, now you've got stuff to go through, right? It's not
Oh,
just
yeah.
now you got it and now you're okay, as you were saying. So how did you kind of transition that great attitude to, I mean, I guess we don't even know, to not having active cancer, or are you in remission right now? How?
This year will mark 12 years clean. 12 years of what I call relearning my body. Because yes, the cancer is not in my body, but the cancer treatments, the radiation have all impacted my body so that it doesn't necessarily react in ways that it used to. I'm also on lifelong medication now, which comes with side effects. So it's been learning to manage those side effects. It's been learning to manage that, my body doesn't handle inflammation like it used to. I can't, work 17 hours a day like I used to. I burn out quicker. But all of that was trial and error. And it took years of frustration. Like, why can't I do all the things I used to be able to do? Why can't I just, work till 2 a.m. like I used to? Why do I have to deal with these side effects of this medication? So there was a lot of frustration along the way. But once I kind of found what worked for me and what made me feel the best that I can be, now we're kind of in this sweet spot. But it took years. It took years of trial and error and frustration and just saying, like, why do I have to keep doing this some days? Because I'm tired. But now that I have my son, when he was born, when I was finally blessed to have him, I said, okay, I have to do what I have to do to show up to be the best mom that I can be. Because he blessed me to be a mom. So I owe it to him to, what, maybe the days are longer. Maybe I'm tired some days and just want to give up. But I owe it to him. He blessed me to be mom.
Yeah, so he might not have been the reason at the beginning, but he certainly stayed the reason in the journey that you have now. And so I guess that's a good part. Your infertility journey ended with you having a son.
Yes.
And your cancer journey ended with you being clean after over a decade. And do these things kind of inform your work as a transformational coach? Like,
Absolutely. I see life so different now. I react so different to life now. I can give my clients tips, tricks, tools that I've used to get to this point. I mean, everyone's story is unique, so it's not going to be a cookie cutter response. But a lot of how we react, a lot of what we put into our bodies, a lot of what we all need to be healthy is very similar. And so it is a lot of what I use for my clients to help them get to that next level.
yeah, and I like that you had mentioned this. Like one thing that I literally was talking to a coach earlier today when you and I first got on our call today. She was on the other line, and we talk a lot about we've all been coached by other coaches at some point, right? Or through some certification or whatever it is, or that's how we found coaching as something. But the struggle is many coaches learn a technique. So
Yes.
they apply the technique to every one of their clients, but every single body is different, right? Every mind is different, every person's, every experience. So if I was trying to help you with a problem and gave you the same exact prescription of help that I helped my friend who's, empty nesting, second husband, all her kids are out of the house, never had any kind of medical problems, probably not really going to have the impact. And so I appreciate that distinction where you're showing up for your clients where they are, but you do have a lot of innate experiences. So you can say, hey, these are things that I've tried, see if they help you. So I think that's a beautiful takeaway.
And I think that's the important thing, right? Number one, being understanding that every human being is unique. Every body is unique. So no brain or no body is ever going to react the same as yours. And so meeting your clients where they are as opposed to saying, this is where you should be. Meeting them where they are is the first step. Because if you don't acknowledge that this is where they're at and this is who they are, you can't help them change.
So what would be, if you only could give like a little bit of advice and someone's struggling, they're struggling with maybe just not feeling happy or really fatigued, or life is out of balance. Are there any kind of like foundational things that they can consider that can maybe help just turn the track a little bit more toward the right direction?
There's two things that I can think of right off the bat that are super simple, right? And number one is boundaries. And this is one that I know, especially as women, we struggle with because we want to take care of and serve everybody. But when you look at what is drawing your time and your energy, is it getting you closer to that happy place where you want to be? Is it getting you closer to your goals? If the answer is no, you need to stop spending your time and energy on it, because all it is doing is actually draining you as opposed to filling you up. And then the second piece is go out and have more fun. Have fun. Do whatever it is that brings you laughter and joy, whether it's going for a bike ride, whether it's going to an indoor trampoline park with your kids, which is always just laughter. Whatever it is, like, laughter is an incredible medicine. Like, we get so caught up in to-do lists and we jam-packed calendars and running from place to place. Like, stop and have some fun.
Yeah, that's so funny that you said that. My kids have this game, the Dance Revolution. It's an old game, and they've been trying to wiggle more in the house because they've been stuck in the house a bit. And so I've resisted for literally years doing this. And I love to dance in high school, like, but I'm like, oh, that thing's gonna wiggle, this part's gonna bounce. I don't want. It was so much fun. I laughed so hard, like belly laugh, like actually hurt, because I apparently don't laugh nearly enough. Those muscles were underutilized. But laughing is infectious. Like, I'm laughing because I think it's just hilarious. They start laughing, and it really actually changed the whole mood of the house. And no one once joked about anything bouncing or anything jiggling. Like, if not, they're all like cheerleading, like, oh my God, Mom, you've got like 3 stars. You've got like 4 stars. It's so great. And I thought, wow, I've literally avoided having this fun for years because I was worried about something bouncing wrong. How sad is that? Like,
You missed out on all those laughs, right?
and sometimes being a good parent is, being seen in a joyful state by your kids too. It's not just getting that next checkbox checked and that next to-do things done. So
Yeah, it's getting out there and laughing with them as opposed to sitting back and watching them laugh.
yeah,
I've often said, because I am the hands-on mom, I'm the one in the sand, I'm the one on the playground. Like, people have probably seen me running around a playground like, who is this crazy lady? But you know what? I'm having fun and I'm playing with my son, and that's what he's going to remember.
Yeah, that's amazing. So is there anything you'd like to share with the audience, or any resources, or where they can find you, so that if they're struggling with any of these same things, they can reach out to you?
Sure, absolutely. So my website is wellnesswarriorcoaching.com. And right now, up on there, I do have a guide on how to live a peaceful, joyful life. And it's just several different steps. They're simple. They don't cost anything. You don't need anything. Simple things that you can implement in your day-to-day life just to bring more of that peace and clarity.
That's amazing. Thank you. So we'll make sure in the show notes as well that we have the different ways people can contact you. And it was really nice meeting you. Thanks for taking time out of, I'm sure, a crazy schedule with your son being home too. And I hope next time we talk, I see some new medals on the wall.
Thank you. And we'll have to, maybe get together soon. I didn't realize we were neighbors.
Yeah. There's not a lot of us in the Midwest. So it is nice to meet another professional in this area. So yeah, we'll keep in touch. So it's nice meeting you, Cathy. I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Thank you once again.
All right. Bye-bye.